Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are from. I'm Subha Lakshmi Narsimhan, founder director of SLN Brand Studio. I'm a personal branding strategist. I help all the professionals to build their personal brand and grow in their career. Whichever situation, position, role, years of experience you are in, I help each one of you to build a brand. Fine. See, today we'll be talking about the entrepreneurial way of thinking in HR function, right? See, what is the connection? I already, I'm getting a couple of queries as of now. Before, getting on to the questions, let me quickly brief about what exactly is entrepreneurial way of, thinking. I'm going to, give my life, my career as an example here. I was working for TCS as a part of their HR shared services team, and then moved on to work as a PMO, project management professional for their client BT, British Telecom, and I was there in UK for some time, and then brought the project offshore. I was there for some time, as a PMO in BT. Then moved on to doing a short. I mean, for a brief period, I was part of the recruitment team in TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. That is when I had to take a break, from my corporate life because of personal reasons, where I had to move to USA. That is when, that I'm talking about during peak recession 2008-9. Yeah, similar situation we are in now, but different reasons. Yeah, so that is when I decided to become a resume writer. Yeah, resume writer, and then I started building content for all the businesses. This is how my journey started, and then I became a mom. I was like working from home all these since 2009-10. This is when in 2004 I wanted to get into training also, because as a part of helping my clients, be it business client or corporate employees, I was helping them in building many other skills as well, like communication skill, and then the interpersonal skills, and then even digital marketing, social media marketing, how they can use social media to build a brand. Yeah, see, this is how my journey started. As I know, my second innings started. What exactly was I doing? Yeah, see, when I say I was helping my clients, there were a couple of things that I was delivering. As an individual, where it could be a resume, it could be a LinkedIn profile, it could be I'm helping them to build some skills. Yeah. So these were my deliveries. Yeah. For some businesses, I was writing web content, I was writing some blogs, I was writing a book, yeah, ghost writing a book. So if you look at all the deliveries, yeah, I was as an individual, I was delivering all these things. But when I had to put across everything under a single entity, which is SLN Brand Studio, I needed a different skill. That is when I realized it is not only the key deliveries that we are I'm doing. Yeah, it is not only about that, right? I'm doing much more than delivering whatever the resume and all other, consulting sessions, training sessions, modules preparation, one-on-one, taking one-on-one sessions, taking group sessions and all. Slowly, when I realized what exactly I was doing, I realized that it is not only about the core delivery, core skills that I had, my consulting, my writing ability, my training ability. See, beyond this, I was doing acquiring and then incorporating various other skills. For example, if I need to the first thing that I did was creating an awareness about what I was doing. Right, initially when I was I landed in India in 2009-10, nobody knew what resume writing was, right? So I had to create an awareness. So how could I create that awareness? Yeah, I was relying on word of mouth, and then slowly I had a Facebook page. I started creating awareness using my way Facebook page, SLN Brand Studio Facebook page. How exactly I was doing that? By writing an article, by giving them some tips, yeah, by giving, helping the community that I was building. Okay, if you want to define this, whatever I was doing from the entrepreneurship viewpoint, what exactly I was doing was nothing but branding and marketing, right? See, once I create that awareness, yeah, where parallelly I was building a brand. Now people will be asking questions, right? N number of questions people will be asking. So I used to answer. When I used to answer, I used to tell people like, see, this is something that you can reach out to me. Okay, if you're struggling, if you're spending too long hours, months together in building your resume, approach me by investing 4K or 5K. You are going to reap a huge benefit. So what I exactly did, I started helping people to realize how they can be benefited. What exactly I did, I created a USP. I created a value proposition for the money that they are spending. It is not only the money, so it is a always a process where we both have to work together, right? Me as well, my client, right? So when I'm able to tell them all these, slowly I started converting those leads as businesses. We call it as conversion. In business terms, we call it as conversion. What exactly I'm doing here? Sales. So I created a brand, I started marketing, I started working on my sales ability. And at that point of it time, I didn't define all these things, right? When I was really struggling to build the clientele, yeah, build the business, yeah, in scaling up the business, that is when I started attending various training sessions, the group discussions and all. What exactly I'm doing? I'm challenging the status quo, right? I'm not sitting idle, thinking that okay, fine, people will get to know about me. I have a Facebook page up, I have my LinkedIn profile up. What exactly I did? I challenged the challenge. Then what happens when I started challenging the situation? I started building a network, right? When I say started building a network, it is not just about having n number of connections, 600 people liking my page, thousands of followers in my LinkedIn profile. So it doesn't the numbers doesn't really helpful, yeah, completely. If you really want to achieve something holistically, you need more than these numbers, right? Because out of 100, hardly one will become a client, right? How can you convert that 100 leads, yeah, 100 followers into 100 businesses? When I started looking at that, I started accumulating so many other skills, right? I had to start investing money. See, I cannot just rely on my capability and then knowledge to build a business, right? I started investing money on upgrading myself, right? Doing some internships, doing training courses, spending on my marketing. So here, what exactly I learn how to do my finances well, how to manage my finances well, right? So see, I mean, these are all a couple of the skills that I have been accumulating. I won't say I've mastered everything. There are a couple of things I have I'm reaching that master stage. There are some areas I'm still a learner. I'm sure I have a long way to go. So see, this is the story that I wanted to share. You have your businesses, right? See, this is one story that you can relate with, right? It could be your brother, sister, or your cousin, or the it could be some small businesses like mine. You can keep in mind, yeah, when we interact further, or you can keep your organization, right? How exactly? See, I'm sure as a HR person, your business acumen is good, right? If not, you have to acquire that. Business acumen is one key entrepreneurial skill that you have to acquire. Yeah, please note it down. Business acumen is very, very important for your HR growth. I mean, your career growth in HR field, right? So you can keep one business in your mind, yeah, when we interact further, so that it will be easier for you to relate it as a case study whenever I talk about any skill or any situation. You can connect it with that business. Otherwise, you can connect it with the journey that I shared so far, my journey that I have shared so far. Yeah. So let me get into the questions. See, I'm getting all my I'm referring all my questions here in my mobile. Yeah, so it will be easier for me. Okay. The first question I have got from Abhya Sharma. What do you exactly mean by the entrepreneurial way of thinking? Wow. This is an interesting question. I've already, answered this particular question by sharing my journey, but still, to specifically mention something here, which is very, very important, for a HR person. Yeah. Again, for this question, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship skill. Okay. So, as I mentioned, marketing, scale, sales, lead generation, branding, finances. Yeah. See, all these skills are very, very important entrepreneurship skills. Okay. Apart from that, there are three key skills that the way of thinking. Yeah, here. Yeah, let's start talking about entrepreneurship way of thinking. One is your mindset. Especially today we are in VUCA world. What is VUCA world? Volatile, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Right? If you look at not only the HR world function, if you look at the businesses, be it a big business, established business, or the small, just started, like 1 month old, 2 month old businesses, or growing startups, right, or SMEs or FMCG. See, whichever level the businesses are, we are in this VUCA world. Yeah, things are so volatile, and then ambiguous, uncertainty is there everywhere, right? You can never say this is an easy process. Yeah, see, everything is complex around us. Life is so complex now, right? So to survive in this scenario, be it your work or personal life or professional life, or wherever you are communicating, wherever you're interacting with anybody, entrepreneurship way of thinking will help you huge. Yeah, so let me focus on what is entrepreneurship way of thinking. Yeah, first thing that you have to look at it is your mindset, right? Is your mindset really ready to live in this book of world, right? Start something in this world. Once you are able to start, right, with an open mindset to receive feedback, right? See, when you are starting a business, you have to have get feedback. Yeah, still till this day I'm doing that. Whenever I'm launching a new program, I talk to n number of people, different ways of getting feedback from different people. You have to do that. Unless until you have a right mindset, right? First of all, you will not share your whatever you want to do with anybody else, right? If the mindset is not right, you will be scared. Okay, you will feel like, okay, if I share this knowledge with somebody, what if somebody steal this idea, this what if mentality, that should go completely away from us, right? So mindset, what if, and then overthinking, right? See, to nowadays, if you think without acting, if you think, just sit and think, there are going to be a number of people who are going to go beyond where you want to go, right? So if you look at your growth and then compare it with somebody else's growth, yeah, who are growing much better than you, if you look at it, the difference could be the mindset. When I say the mindset, even overthinking is a mindset, right? Just for us sitting on the strategy part of it, not getting into action. So see, when these are all a couple of examples that I wanted to give, with respect to mindset. So first thing is your entrepreneurship mindset will help you to start something that you wanted to do. Okay. And then the second is, risk taking. If you look at it, unless until I'm ready to take the risk, right, I won't be able to move even a single step ahead. When I'm talking about risk taking, it is not only about investing your time and effort and then starting your business, right? You should have enough risk taking ability to invest money. See, here when I say money, right, entrepreneurship way of thinking will help you to mitigate that risk by rightly assessing it. Okay, see, risk taking is doesn't mean that you just think about something, immediately get into action. No, when you are thinking from the entrepreneur way of thinking, in that mode, what you will be doing is you will be assessing that risk quickly, rapidly. The decision that whatever you are going to take, it will be an informed decision. Okay, see, for example, I know I wanted to invest on something. Okay, see, I was planning to take up something this month. But unfortunately, what happened, because of the recent changes, like because of COVID-19, business is dull. Okay, everywhere business is dull, right? So here, I keep X amount to invest on, N number of things this month. So what should I do? Should I just shut down everything, not invest on anything, and then, sit back? If I do that, we don't know how long the situation is going to be, how long it is going to take the, scenario to get back to normal. I'm not only talking about work from home, I'm talking from the business perspective, right? See, when you start thinking from the entrepreneur way of, in that mode, you will start looking at things in a different way. You will start looking at the risk in a different way. Yeah. So coming back to my example, what exactly I did, the minute I know that, okay, the business is going to be, slow, flow is going to be slow, I mean, inflow is going to be slow. What I did, immediately started working on, prioritizing my investment options. Okay, see, right now I have to renew my, website. I have to work on my homepage, right? And I'm working on, rebranding certain things, right? So I kept all these, my from my X amount, I just allocated my fund to, all these things. So here, what exactly is happening? I am prioritizing my investment. There are certain things I'm keeping it, at the back end. I mean, in the second or third position. Okay, the minute, business starts, picking up, I will start investing. So you cannot sit without investing. See, this ability, this decision making ability, you will be able to acquire if you start thinking from entrepreneur way. Yeah. So these two things are like, I wanted to give as an example for this. I mean, like this, there are so many other things. We will, I will, take up one by one for other questions as well. Yeah. Hope Abhya I've answered your question. Let me move on to the second question. Niyati Maheshwari. What is the relation between entrepreneurship and HR? This is an interesting question, Niyati. I really want you to kind of, munch on what exactly HR means in an organization. Why should we have the function called HR in organizations? If you look at it, yeah, see, when any business, right, any entrepreneur, when they start building their business, yeah, see, let's talk from the small business viewpoint, and then I will, let me take you to the next level. When I start working on, when any business owner, when they start working on building a business around their services, right? So, for example, I'm developing an app. Okay, I have an app developed, right? I have my investors ready. I have my app developed. Now I want to start selling it, right? As a first thing, what I will do is I will start looking at all the legalities involved in converting this as a business, right? When I say legal, right, if you look at it legal, there are two different ways of, legal we have to think on, right? When I'm building a business, see, one is registering my company, registering my entity, having a safeguarding my, these things as my asset, yeah, whatever I've built as an asset, yeah. So these things, come under a different, various different functions, right? For example, a CA or CS will help you to, register your company and all, where, you have to be very, very particular about, you are, having everything in place, right, to do a business, yeah, around your app. Then the second set of legal is business law, right? If you need a group, a team, right, it is not only about recruiting a team, yeah, building a team, it is also about, what is the salary that you are going to give those people, right? Are you going to have them as an intern? Are you going to have them as full-time employees, right? How are you going to build that, relationship between you and your team as per the law? This, this is just an example. So HR is not only, recruiting people, building a team. Okay, so you should also, be able to pay them as per the market, right? So what exactly is this? Isn't it an HR function, right? Say payroll, or company law, corporate law, right? I mean, based on, what sort of entity that you are, registering as. Okay, is it a LLB? Is it a private company? Is it a public company, right? So based on which, the, law also differs, right? The company also, law also differs, right? So who is going to give all these suggestions? A HR person, right? So you have to depend on. So here, I want you to look at the other way. As a HR person, you should know, all these things to build a business, right? So this is just one example. And then, coming to, having a team. See, I mean, I have been a, single woman army all these, years, where I have, I have done the, recruitment part of it. I have done the advertising part of it. I have done the JD part of it. Yeah, while I was building a team, right? So, I mean, for all these HR, if you start thinking from the entrepreneurial way, you will start looking at the way you are hiring, the way you are responding to your responsibilities will differ. Right? See, I mean, as a resume writer, generally tell my clients, right? No, HR doesn't have, they don't have enough time to read through all your resume, so you should be able to attract HR within 30 seconds, right? So I know that you are at the other end of the table. Now, yeah, so you have to imagine as if you are working for your own organization, right? See, now till today you have another person in your mind, right? You are working for somebody, but if you have entrepreneur way of thinking, you will look at your responsibilities in a different way. So what exactly does it mean? Does it mean that you are not working properly till this day? No, it is not that, right? When I say you will start looking at the responsibilities in a different way, you will look at it from the business perspective. Okay, why there is a deadline for you to finish off something? Okay, so you will start looking at it in a way where each and every responsibility which is there under the role that you are playing, it has direct and indirect connection with the organizational level growth. Yeah, so what exactly I mean by that? Let's take an example of recruitment, right? I know how tough it is to recruit, fill one position, one key position, especially if you're, working in a leadership hiring or, senior executive level hiring, right? You just, you work, you sweat on it a lot, you fill in the position, then last minute something can happen, right? See, when you're, looking at it from entrepreneurship way, what you will be doing is you will look at the existing process differently. Okay, how exactly you are, talking to the leads, right? How exactly you are spending your time and interacting with each and every lead. Because see, as an entrepreneur, what I do is, I do some check on the way I'm interacting with people. Okay, when I say the way, also the time that I spend on each lead. For example, if somebody is approaching me, yeah, so what I do is like I know I used to do it like like this year or two and a half, I mean 2 years back. I used to spend a lot of time in interacting with that person. Okay, if somebody is asking me some question like, how are you doing the resume, how the consulting session work and all, right? When I realized that, when I started looking at the way I'm spending the time and then the ROI, I felt like I am spending lot of time, yeah, more than it require in talking to a lead. So what exactly I did, I just kind of started noting down something. Okay, see, these are all the things that I don't have to talk about it in the first time. Okay, see what exactly I should talk about. Okay, see, all these things, when I jotted it down, I started having some will fees, yeah, sales pitch sort of a thing. When I did that, I could save huge amount of my time, which I could put it in a better process. Yeah, I could use that time in something else. It could be that in doing the actual job. Yeah, in a day, if I was able to do only one consulting session, by reducing time here, I was able to do two different consulting sessions, because I was not only the time, I was also saving my energy. Because end of the day, if you don't convert that lead into a business, right, you feel demotivated, right? By reducing my time over there, I was able to work on productively. See, similar example, you can use it in your recruitment job also. Yeah, this is a way, how an entrepreneur would think, right? So simple, in recruitment process, you just analyze how long you are spending in talking to somebody. Yeah, see, this is one example. Second example is like, look for ways where you can, streamline certain processes, standardize certain processes. Okay, see, for the follow-up thing, you can have a standardized mail. See, all the, grown organizations, they will have all these things. Okay, see, if you are working in a startup or a company where there is no management system, MIS, or any, HR management system to support all these things, look for ways to streamline, standardize certain processes so that the mundane tasks you don't have to necessarily do it again and again. Okay, so you don't have to necessarily depend on any technology to automate certain things. You can do it, just copy paste and then send that mail. Yeah, see, entrepreneurship way of thinking will help you in assessing your existing processes, yeah, and then making the right changes so that you can acquire more ROI. So here, what would we see? For me, it is like a building a business. Yeah, additional revenue, and then additional clients. I'll be evolving my enhancing my clientele. So, as a HR person who is already working in an organization, how you can convert this as a business as an ROI? Whenever you are doing something, note it down. Okay, see, I normally maintain a report sort of a thing. Whenever I'm doing such exercise, I note them down as a report. Okay, note them down. Okay, whatever changes that you are doing, whatever assessment that you are doing, self-assessment that you are doing, note them down. See, you need not depending on any major. If you have any technology support, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, a simple Word document is fine enough. Document is fine. Okay, just note down everything. Like, what was the problem you faced? How did you approach that problem? What exactly you reaped out of it, right? Believe me, you can use this, right? See, what happens when you are enhancing the process? It is not that you are helping yourself, whereas you are helping your organization, right? Your productivity is going to go high. So when your productivity is going high, what does it mean? You are going to heighten the productivity of your team. So similar best practices you can implement in your teams. If you are, especially if you are leading a HR team, right? You can come up with the same idea, share it as a best practice for your team. Let everybody do that self assessment. Okay, we don't have to really wait for the appraisal period to self assess us, right? You do this. See, this is just a single example that I gave. If you start implementing it in all your responsibilities, do I have to really say the ROI that you're going to reap? So one is like, you can use your report while working on your self appraisal process during the performance appraisal cycle in your organization. And at a later point, when you are working looking for a job outside, or if you are want to start something on your own, all these things are going to help you. You can put across all these information in your resume. And you can also use it to build a brand as a personal branding strategist. See, all these things I ask my clients to do. Okay, so whenever they are coming up with something, share it with the world. Okay, see, by sharing it with it, don't worry that somebody will steal it, somebody will do it. No, see, by sharing all these tips, right, so you are going to help n number of people improve their productivity. That way, you just imagine the whole world, the productivity in the whole world, how it will help each other to grow, right? So feel free to share all the learnings that you are getting from this session or any other session that you are attending. What you can do, you can create a post, put it on LinkedIn, saying that I attended so and so thing, right? I mean, I started implementing it in my in my life, in this specific thing. See, this is how I reaped, right? When you put this across, it is not only that you are helping somebody else to grow. See, for example, if you are mentioning my session here, along with Jobs for Her, you not only you are helping me to grow. You are building a brand for me. You are building a brand for Jobs for Her also. By doing this, you are elevating your brand to a different level. I'm telling you. You try this and you will see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's move on to the third question. Yeah, third. Advaita Bhaskar, how to develop an entrepreneur way of thinking when I am a person in HR? Yeah, see, I think I already answered. So here, I want to understand, what exactly you are doing as a part of HR. Okay, what you can do is you can take up one thing where you are struggling to perform. Okay, see, I mean, as of now, what I have given is the common processes that almost each one of us, I mean, all the HR people are familiar with. Okay, now I want you to take one specific issue that you are facing right now. Okay, specific role that you are having where you are struggling to perform that. Okay, here if you look at it, there are three different things that normally I do it. I know, in fact, I started doing this. This particular mantra that I'm going to share, this has been given to me by my mentor, Mr. Ian Faria, which is what I'm going to share now. There are three things that greatly impact our lives. Okay, this is something that is very, very, very important as an entrepreneur, right? Normally, entrepreneurs use this. But if you use the same methodology in the area wherever you are struggling, you will be able to really, really do well. Yeah. So let me give this as an example: attitude, behavior, and communication. Okay, if you look at any problem that you are facing, yeah, where your performance is kind of creating some negative impact on your performance, you just look at where exactly you are going wrong. Is it an attitude, or the behavior, or the communication? See, if you look at it, these three things, it may look like a normal soft skill. Actually not. Yeah, this is beyond a life skill. Okay, if you look at it, for you to have a better communication, first of all, if you, yeah, let me put it this way: the attitude leads you to behave properly, right? Set the behavior, and then the behavior becomes a habit as well as communication. Am I right? Let me give an example. Yeah, why? At what circumstances I got this advice from my mentor. I felt like, recent times I felt like, I'm working a lot on the, planning part of it, right? I know where the problem is, okay? But I was struggling to understand why I'm not doing something, because I'm normally a very, self-starter, highly self-motivated person. But, there are certain things that I felt like I should be doing, but I'm not doing, but I was not able to figure that out. Okay, I'm very sure the problem that you are facing now, the performance issue that you are facing right now, right, will you can understand what I'm talking about, right? Whenever you are facing a problem where you are struggling to perform something, or you are performing very well, but you are not reaping the right benefit, right ROI out of it, right? When you are munching on why, right? You have to look at the attitude, right? Your behavior and the way you are communicating. This is the key entrepreneurship way of thinking that I learned from my mentor. Okay, I started implementing it in my life daily. So what exactly I have achieved out of this? My risk taking ability has gone really, really high up. Okay, I kind of completely stopped overthinking. Yeah, so I used to kind of stopped it, but now I've completely stopped overthinking, which is not only in my professional life, it is also helping me in my personal life, right? You please work on this and then see the difference. Okay, you will identify whether you have to change your attitude, whether you have to change your behavior or your communication skill. Okay, so if you look at it, these three are a very, very important entrepreneurship skill. When you start thinking from as an entrepreneur, right, as if the performance is what your business is rely on, right? Because if you look at it, your performance issue will have a greater impact in the organizational level, at the organizational level, right? In your organization. So you have to own it. You own the problem, right? Look at the problem by looking at the solution. Okay. So think through these three things: attitude, behavior, and communication. You will find out. Okay. But you have to own it. You have to own the issue. You will understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Ruhi, what benefits does thinking the entrepreneurship way has in HR? Fantastic, Ruhi. See here, as I mentioned earlier, right? As an entrepreneur, as a HR, right? You should have entrepreneurship, that skill, that mindset, right? How, as an entrepreneur, I should have the HR capabilities. It is the same, vice versa. Okay. So how can you be benefited when you are having this entrepreneurship mindset? As I mentioned, you will start looking at the problems in a different way, right? The challenges in a different way, because you know that you have to, solve that problem. Okay, you will start owning the problem. Your accountability is going to go high up, very high up. Okay, so what happens when you start taking accountable? When you start seeing yourself, accountable for for a impact that your role is going to create, right? You just imagine that your business is relying on that specific role that you are doing. Okay, so what happens here? You are taking up accountability for all the actions, right? What happens here when you take up that accountability? Your responsibility level is going to go high. When I say responsibility level is going to go high, again, you will start looking at things in a right way. Okay. When I say right way, how exactly you can do that? Let me give you an example again. Okay. Training and development. So assume that you are part of a training and development. I'm sure you are doing training need analysis, right? You have a business problem, right? So you are the project manager or the technical. If you are, just imagine that you are working in a technology company where the manager is coming, the product owner or the project manager is coming and telling you that we have these skills are kind of is what we are looking for. In normal circumstances, normally what we do, right? It is a critical situation where you have to fill the gap as soon as possible, right? Normally, how you would be reacting, you would be looking at the if you're having a HR management system, you will be looking at the people who are available. Like they could be on bench, or they are about to be allocated, deallocated from one particular project where you feel like okay, you can allocate them to this particular project, right? You look at it, you will be looking at it, and then if you feel like you have enough resources to manage that skill gap, you will interact with the manager, right? If not, you will start the next process. It could be that recruiting process, or it could be triggering some internal reference processes and all. This is how we normally look at things, where we rely on the technology, right? But when you start looking at it, when you start here, what happens is like only filling that position is what normally stays in HR mind, right? But what happens actually? Hmm? Are you able to see for example, there is one role available, you are giving 10 resume. Okay, you are picking 10 resume, 10 profile from your existing the professional list of professionals who are on bench, or about to be deallocated and all. You are giving 10 different resume profile to the project manager. How many times you were able to quickly close that one single role by delivering 10 different resume? What exactly happened here? You just screen it, just do it differently, just look for keywords and all, send it across. Because today you have something to talk about, right? You can mention something in your report, right? Which means 10 resume have been shared, report is ready, you have sent it, you are sitting idle. Idle in the sense you are focusing on something else. Just imagine you are the business owner here, right? How will you react to the situation? You know that this is very, very critical for your business. Okay, see here we cannot just brush away saying that no, all the project managers come and tell me that everything is there. The skill gap is what is very important, right? So how exactly we handle this, right? So training and development, it comes later. So in the recruitment area, how do we handle this? Just pick up something, send it across, or existing training sessions whatever we have, we just quickly arrange something, do one technical, a training, right? But why are we not able to reap the right benefit? here. Why we are not able to close a single role, a single skill gap with the existing set of employees. Why the training sessions that we are conducting is not 100% help these projects to win over. If you look at it, you will see the answer. Okay, now you apply entrepreneurial way of thinking. You own it. You own it as if this is going to completely spoil your business. Okay, so in the same scenario, what will happen if 4 5 different managers come to you and then ask, they all are in the same position. Okay, they say that, okay, see, this skill gap is huge, very very critical now, critical. Okay, see, if n number of people are coming and telling you, what will happen when you are owning it? You will know which one to prioritize, which one you can keep it in the second and third way. Okay, how you will be doing it? You will be having a meaningful interaction with all these business owners. Okay, you will have a transparent communication over there. That is what we will be doing. Okay, we will not just brush up or just do for the sake of doing things, just for the sake of building a report, but entrepreneurship way of thinking will help you to do the things right at the first time. I'm sure you are getting where I'm coming from. Yeah, let's move on. Then the next question I have from Smita Shetty. During these work from home time, how do I go about with team activities as an HR manager? Okay, Smita, I'm taking this question in two different ways. See, one is team activities as a HR manager. Is it to manage your team? Yeah, how to handle all the HR activities? Managing your team to accomplish all the HR activities, or employee engagement activities. Okay, so I'm going to address these two in this question. Okay, let's talk about managing your team to accomplish our HR responsibilities. Okay, see, here is where your people skill is going to help you a lot. Yeah, because people skill is something that which is very very important as an entrepreneur. To put it across in a modern technology, I mean modern way of, or contemporary phrase, if you ask me to do it, I would say adapt design thinking. Okay, you can quickly understand what design thinking means. Okay, let me just start with one thing. Okay, how design thinking starts. Design thinking, be it a product or service or whatever you are doing, right, it starts from empathy. Empathy in understanding the clients. See, normally this is the definition that design thinking, whenever you come across something in design thinking, this is the first information that you will come across. Okay, empathy. Okay, here all your stakeholders, right? Internal stakeholders, which are your employees, your clients. Sorry, your clients, your employees, and then your team, right? Here it is very very important for you to empathize towards your internal team. This is very very, you are going to improve your people skill. I'm sure you are struggling a lot as a HR manager. You yourself are struggling a lot to manage your home. Now that I know that I know the pain, because I am also doing the same here, right? Taking care of everything at home, and then children are at home, taking care of them, household chores, amidst this, you are expected to do as if everything is okay for you, right? You know what? Show empathy. Yeah, empathize others in your team, right? Probably one day they will take you for granted, but the next day they will feel like, okay, they should showcase that towards you also. Okay, so the first thing is empathizing your people. How you can do this? By quickly get into a call. Yeah, just understand. Okay, just understand which position each one of them are in, right? And then tell people, like, see, I mean, now I actually look at all HR people as at this situation as the other healthcare, and then the police and the military, army. See how we are respecting all these professions. Similarly, I keep each one of you in HR profession as if you are all lifesavers, because I'm how hospitals are taking care of COVID patients and all other patients. There are pregnant ladies who are delivering babies. Even in this situation, the healthcare professionals are doing their best. Okay, uh, to safeguard everybody. Likewise, you are all safeguarding everybody, all your employees, mental as well, physical as well, emotional health, right? One thing that, immediately I would like you to do is, that is how I am handling all my team. Okay, all my, my vendors especially. Okay, see, right now I'm in a crucial situation where I want to, change something in my, website. But my web designer, she fell sick. Right, I mean, she has been working with me for the past 4 years. This is the first time that she felt like, ma'am, I'm not well. So I should not put, I should not sit on her head. Okay. I just, left her like, okay, so you take rest today. You take complete rest today. Let's work on it. Yes, it is very, very important for me. But at this moment, okay, her health is more important than my business. Okay. So you will understand, how to empathize with people. Right. So similarly, all of you, remember that you are almost equivalent to these healthcare professionals outside. Okay, so start working towards how you can help your employees to conveniently work from home. One quick thing what you can do is quickly have one call with all your team, yeah, and then ask them to come up with some innovative ideas. Okay, see which they can implement in their home, yeah, and then come up with some innovative ideas where you can go ahead and then do it. See, if you want any sessions to be done for your HR team or for your HR, the employees on mental wellness or building a personal brand and all, feel free to approach me. Yeah, so I'm doing it for a couple of other companies as well. Work from home virtual sessions. So you can come up with n number of creative ideas, innovative ideas. This is nothing but entrepreneur's way of thinking. Yeah, because business has to run. Okay, so I think I have answered both the perspectives by through this single question. Yeah, see this is how entrepreneur way of thinking will help. Yeah, so you will be able to quickly address the issues that you face every day. Yeah. So hope Smita I have addressed your query. If not, please feel free to ping me. You can connect with me. Each one of you can connect with me on LinkedIn or any other portal. So at the end of it, I'll also share my email ID, phone number, and all. You can connect with me. Okay. So the next question is from Pradibha Bhatt. How to incorporate entrepreneurial methods in a team in an office? Yes. So you can definitely do. See, one thing that you can do is see, as an entrepreneur, for example, see, now I don't write content anymore. Yeah, because I am focusing on I started focusing on my training more, my coach and then personal branding sessions more. Yeah, I used to have a team for writers, yeah, content writers. Okay, normally what happens, when somebody is hiring a content writer, they will only look at their writing ability, right? But when it comes to content writing, especially business, for businesses, when you are writing a blog, business acumen is very, very important. So the first thing that what I check is, even though their, English language skill is kind of, it's not too great, as long as they have a business acumen, I hire them. I used to hire them because, English is something that I can teach. Yeah. How to write is something that I could, train. But business acumen is something that I was not able to train people on, because this is something that you have to this is a it should become a way of your life. Yeah, acquiring business related information is something that you have to have as a HR person. Okay, so what does it mean? Not only as a leader, HR manager or HR leader, each one of your team members should have business acumen. Okay, you can check for that. If not, find out ways to incorporate business acumen in your team. If you want me to conduct a session for your team, I can do that. Okay, one, there are ways you can build that business acumen. Second is, before allocating anybody any job, are you sharing them the common goal? Yeah, what I used to do is, what businesses do, yeah, is we share the common goal. Okay, I will tell them, see, this is my goal, this is the goal of SLN Brand Studio. I want the quality delivery to be done so and so date, right? What will happen if we are not able to do it? Yeah, I tell them that. Okay, so whatever is your common goal, see here, I tell them what is my goal. I have my vision written, I have my mission written, I have my values written, which are published in my website. If I go wrong, right, if I'm not able to, accomplish something which I have in my vision and mission, these are not just statements. Okay, we spend n number of hours in coming up with vision mission statement. Okay, how many of you in your team understand what is the vision of your company, what is the mission in a statement mentioned in your company website? Okay, so you should start from there to incorporate entrepreneurship skill. Okay, first of all, you should understand what your company's mission is. Okay, and then map it with your responsibilities. Okay, help your team to map it with their responsibilities, their roles. Okay, this is enough. Believe me, Pratibha, if you do this, the rest of the things follow on their own. Yeah, so I look forward to your feedback. You can leave feedback here in Jobs for Her forum, or you can approach me and then leave a feedback. I will share it with Jobs for Her team as well. Yeah, let me move on to the next question. Okay, Nirmala is asking an interesting question again. How do I boost the morale of the employees as an HR manager during the work from home times? Yes. See, one thing that I believe, I believe in God. Okay, I believe in universe. What I perceive, life is like, whenever universe is throwing any issue on you, right? But before throwing any issue, God or universe, they create a support system, then only throw the problem, throw any issue towards us, towards you, me, and everybody in this world. Okay. This is, I don't know whether I can call this as entrepreneurial way of, thinking, but I don't know whether, I should call it as a philosophy, but this philosophy is something that I adopted in my business, in running my business, so that whenever I face challenges, I'm able to, have enhanced my risk taking ability. I'm able to clearly think. Okay, see here now, right now, yes, I understand that it is a responsibility of a HR to engage, keep the morale of the employees, right? At this moment, we don't know how the businesses are, right? Some businesses are doing okay, some businesses are not doing really well. First thing that I would like you to address is this, everybody is having a thought whether they are going to have their job or not, right? Everybody is having this fear in their mind. Okay, so what you can do is, how, in normal circumstances, how would you handle this? Okay, see, I mean, during any art change and all, the change, managing change is a huge challenge for HR, especially, yeah, when, especially during art change. How would you manage that? You will be, having some, open house done, right? Or you will be having some top down communication, right? So these two things you can do even now. Okay, so one is top-down communication. You can, ask your HR, director. If you are a HR director, or if you are in the top level, you can send out a nicely drafted communication to all your, employees, assuring them the job. At the same time, tell them what is the reality. Okay, I don't have to really talk about how the content should be. You would definitely know, yeah. Empathy again, yeah, empathetic note, yeah. So you should know the content should showcase that empathy, the real empathy that you're having. This you can, bring it out only when you have that empathy in you, or a person who is drafting the content, that person should have that empathy. Okay, for the time being, we have to keep our worries, our fear movements away, and then take up that healthcare sort of a gap, right? So, top down communication is one thing that you can do, right? So email you can send, self isolation or self quarantine, whichever position we are in, we can send some one, one top down communication. Second thing is, you can have an open house. See, when I say open house, it could be, if you're based on, I don't know about the, size of your company or the technology support that you have in your company. If yours is an established, organization, you don't have to worry. Definitely, you will have technology support, right? You can have one live session done. Okay, like how our prime minister did. So like that, you can have one, live session done where all your employees are, having an access to that video. Or you can have, small groups like, Zoom, WebEx. Nowadays everybody, we are all depending on these technologies, right? All these platforms. Even I was supposed to, have one session, tomorrow, which I plan to do it in a grand way. But because of the situation, in a private hotel. But because of the situation, I just converted into a, that was a one-day program. I had to convert into an online session. Again, having a whole day online session is tough. So what I did, I just splitted it into different days. Almost we are done with the program. Whole program we are done. Okay, so you embrace technology. So you can have you first what you can do is you can have all the project leaders, right? Have one the session with them, right? And then further segregate the same information through those business leaders or project managers. Okay, so ensure that whatever communication that you are doing, it is reaching the bottom level well. Yeah, so this is the best scenario for you to enhance a skill, which is balancing, handling the virtual teams. Who knows, at one point of time, we all are going to live like this. Yeah, virtual teams, right? So use this as an opportunity to do that. And then the third thing what you can do is something like you can have me or people like me on board, right? Similar motivational sessions that we can conduct. You have n number of mentors here in Jobs for Her. You know who is doing well in what subject, right? So you can do that, or you can encourage your employees to write blogs. You may be having an intranet. If not, it is a time you can build one, right? Ask your employees to share their success stories, how they are working from home. Come up with some campaign, come up with some competition and all. So encourage them in n number of ways. Okay, so involve them. Okay, normally as a HR person, you will be coming up with different activities, right, for them. Now engage them, let them come up with the activities, let them share their success stories. If you have women employees, tell them how they are managing their household chores and this. And this is the best time that you can come up with he for she. Okay, if you're a project leader, or somebody is helping his wife in managing household chores, ask them to share it as a success story. Yeah, it is the time that you can bring in revolution in your inclusion processes. Yeah, this is the time you can use it to bring out lot many heroes in your organization. Yeah, and then I look forward to your feedback on this. Okay, how it goes. Okay, so we have one more question. I think, yeah, we have 4 more minutes to finish off this session. I have one more question. Does today's topic also indicate that if I am an entrepreneur, I would be able to manage the HR aspects as well? Yes, very, very, very right. Yes, of course. If you are an entrepreneur, it is the high time you understand how HR works. Okay, so as I mentioned, HR doesn't mean that it is only recruiting and building a team. Okay, HR means building an organization. Okay, and then building a team, recruitment, and then business law. Yeah, so how legally you should protect yourself, and then safety of your organization. Right? You see, even if you are a solopreneur, right? Most of us are solopreneurs nowadays, right? But still, you should know how you can protect your YouTube video, your content. Yeah, how you can create a safe environment for your business. Okay, it should not be the like no, you are plagiarizing somebody's content, or somebody is plagiarizing your content, right? I undergo such things where people just like that copy my content and then post it in the same forum I am part of, right? Then I know I should know how to handle such situation, right? So you have a lot of information, that your email ID. Safety is very, very important. So HR is one who is collaborating for safety of the company assets, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have to safeguard your assets, right? And then training and development, right? Whether you have a team or not, right? Training and development should be a part of your growth, right? It could be that you are training somebody, or you are acquiring some skills. Continuous learning is something that you have to have, right? You cannot have as a solopreneur or as a small team if you're running a small team, right? So all these things are very, very important. Yeah, 5 6 different functions that HR the HR is a broad term, okay, under which there are 5 different sub functions are there. Okay, so I would recommend you learn about different functions of HR, and then see how you are you have to adapt the key things from HR functions. Yeah, yes, definitely. As an entrepreneur, you should be able to manage all the HR aspects very well. Okay, so these are all the questions that we have for today. It has been awesome interacting with you all. I hope I have answered all your questions. If you have more questions, or if you are coming up with some sub questions from the responses that I have given you, you can reach out to me. Again, my name is Subha Lakshmi Narsimhan. I own a brand called SLN Brand Studio. SLN is nothing but my name, Subha Lakshmi Narsimhan Brand Studio. What exactly I do? I have three different, in fact, four different programs. One is SVEP. It is for the college students Vision Execution Program, where I will be traveling with the students all 2 years, 4 years. It starts from the first year. SPBQ is for you all, which is Personal Branding Quotient Program, where I help people to build their personal brand and grow in their career. It can be one-on-one program, or small group sessions or big group sessions. And then third is corporate program that I'm coming up with. See, personal branding is not only for individuals. Okay, it is very important that corporates should, incorporate personal branding sessions for their employees. In fact, recently when I, kind of, worked on assessing my, the reports and all, 45% of my clients, existing clients, they have decided to stay back in their organization. Okay, after attending my personal branding session. So corporates are more welcome to have an interaction with me, how we can build a personal brand which is going to ultimately help your organization to build a brand. And then the fourth program, which is very, very close to my heart, which I have been doing since 2014-15, SWCP, Women Contentment Program. Yeah. So through this program, I've been helping women who have a break in their career. Whether you want to get into where you left, or you want to start a new journey, or you want to start something on your own, I help them. I have a process defined. This is, in fact, no women contentment program is some, one program that I submitted as a business proposal when I was doing a women entrepreneurship program in IIM Bangalore. Yeah, so you can have a look at my website, which is right now it is under renewal, but still you can have a look at it. Even my existing content will talk right about what exactly I'm doing. www.slnbrandstudio.com. I know my email ID, my phone number, everything is there in my website. And more than that, I would like to connect with each one of you on LinkedIn. Subha Lakshmi Narsimhan, if you search for, you can connect with me. Follow my LinkedIn page, Facebook page, SLN Brand Studio. You can follow me on Instagram, Subha SLN Brand Studio. So look forward to helping your career, supporting your career growth, yeah, in whatever way I can. So look forward again. Thank you so much, Sharmita and Jobs, for this opportunity. This is a wonderful opportunity, I'm telling you. A lot that I learned from each one of you, people who are raising questions. Yeah, thank you so much.